now moving towards PHP functions, we can develop our own user-defined functions or use an existing or predefined functions. So what does a function do? Functions keep the script from being executed when the page loads. When you don't make any function, the entire code runs when the page loads. But if we want to have some functionality like this, when we want to initiate or run our certain part of the code based on certain triggers. For example, when a user click on a mouse a button on certain text area or field on the screen, then only you want any code of function code or a segment of function to be executed. Then we can separate this logic or lines of code in form of a function that is user defined. It will be executed when it is called, or it would not be executed when it is not called at all. You may call a function from anywhere within a page. So this is a syntax of writing a function in PHP. Just write function, function, then separated by space the function name with opening and closing bracket, then place the code for the function in the parenthesis. A function is not of a certain data type in PHP, but in Java or other languages like C, we have a function which is of type int, float, character, or any other thing. It can also return a value. A function name starts with a letter or an underscore, but it could not be started with a number. This is a simple example of a PHP user-defined function, which is called as write name. When we write this thing, write name, and click on this, when we just type write name, outside that function, the function is triggered. We have to define a function, then we have to call the function from outside that function. This is the way to write and use that function. Then there comes parameters, which are part of the function. Parameters are like variable. It is actually variable, but it is its scope is within a function. It does not work outside that function. Values get changed. For example, in this function, write name, $fname is the parameter which has a scope within this function only. It is useful. We can have multiple parameters for a function. A function could be of three types: default function, parameterized function, or simple function. We can have parameters in certain data types like character, int, float, or string. Then comes to predefined PHP functions. Two of them are very important: the get function and post function. You have seen HTML forms everywhere over the internet, from signing up to an account to submitting a form, registration form for any organization. You have seen various of HTML form. So how it works? An HTML form is a combination of HTML plus PHP or server-side language, which helps to submit the information. When you enter a data in HTML form, and there in HTML it is defined this method, this information is sent to PHP script via get method or post method. It would certainly use any of these two. If it has to send data via get method, then you can use the get function in the PHP script that works on certain HTML form, to retrieve the values. Get function is used to collect form values. This is a simple script. The above one is HTML script. It says form action. Action in this action tag, action attribute defines the name of the PHP script. Here the welcome.php. The method is get. A simple example of get could be an URL where the value of parameters or variables is written on the URL itself. It exposes the information. It does not hide it, as we would need to store password. And in PHP, we can simply get that value by using $_ capital GET to get the form value of any field name. Fname is the name of the HTML form entity. Name, age, any other thing. So we can retrieve that value from an HTML form with PHP script. As we have seen, it displays the value or exposes the value in the URL. So it is not a secured method for password verification or authentication. It also has a limit of 100 characters. We could not pass a string or information larger than this range. So there comes a post method. In post method, we get through these two things. The information is not visible to URL and the size of the information transferred via this method, post method, is up to 8 MB size, but we can increase its size with php.ini file in the post max size variable. It is this case of use is similar to get, nothing is different. In post method, which is more useful than get, it maintains data hiding, does not expose the information, it is safe for password transportation. So these were the simple functions and how you can write a simple PHP code and understand even the most complex PHP code. The key to a programming language: array, variable, operators, conditional statements, loop, and two of the most important functions, post and get. Then we can also write certain cookies, generate session, which would be useful in PHP. So keep learning, keep moving.